Hey, it's Seto Kaiba, and you're watching Anime Egotists. I don't know why. These guys don't know how to duel, unless they learned from Yugi, who cheats, or maybe Joey, who's a dog. Oh, why don't you have some more jelly donuts, like Brock, and maybe you'll get better. Not. Oh, and I play my Blue Eyes White Dragon and kick your butts.
And welcome back to the Anime Egotists. My name's Alex, and if you give me chocolate for Valentine's Day, you're probably not getting anything back for White Day.
All right. My name's Richard.
Yeah, joke's on you because I don't get chocolate for Valentine's Day. People don't get me anything. But we are back, and romance can be a pretty big thing in anime, it can't it?
Exactly. There's entire animes dedicated to telling a romantic story, and then there's elements in pretty much every anime, especially the longer they run, the more people want and ship characters together.
That's correct. And while I'll never fully understand romance, no, I don't want to be educated, there are times where you can just throw two characters together, even in the same series, and it could work. But that's not what we're doing today, at least not within the same series.
No, this time we're doing characters from different series that we think would make a cute couple.
Yeah, whether it's we actually think they'd be cute or even they're just entertaining, because not every couple has to be a good couple. Sometimes you can just laugh at them. These are characters that you think, if we can put them in a room together, maybe some magic can happen. Hopefully some PG magic.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you want to start us off on this one?
For once, I would actually like to, but I wanted to say thanks so much to Marise Sekibon for the thumbnail. Speaking of the thumbnail, maybe I should give these two characters a chance. All right, I love one of these characters, and another one I've been a little critical of, but they could still work if they were put together. Rock Lee from Naruto and Bocchi from Bocchi the Rock.
Okay. I mean, this one could still be canon. We don't know who Metal Lee's mother is.
Oh, we'll get to that in a little bit. So we all know Rock Lee struggled with confidence issues very early on, but grew to be a confident but still loving person and a bit of a badass. Bocchi is none of those things. Bocchi is very timid. Her self-esteem is low. Oh, and she gets embarrassed really easily. But I'd like to think that Rock Lee could find a way to bring out that spark in the sense of Bocchi practices her guitar every day, and Rock Lee could tell Bocchi the same thing my guy told him. Hey, all the hard work in the world is meaningless if you don't believe in yourself. So maybe it could be a case of he would be the biggest fan of the Kisoku band's music, and she's like, I'm sorry, he's with me, but deep down she would genuinely appreciate the support they have, and they could work together.
So it the ultimate thing I see is Rock Lee doing the dance with the glow sticks,
Yes.
and stuff, and he's going all out for it. I could see him being a very supportive, overly supportive boyfriend.
Yes, yes. Because look, say what you want about Lee, but he does seem like somebody who would be very dedicated and loving to the person in his life. Not to mention, apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently Bocchi, her dream person, is somebody from the basketball team. And while Rock Lee doesn't play basketball, he is an athlete. He does take care of himself. So, in a sense, it could line up with what they want. Plus, it could be a case of one balances out the other because she's timid, but she's a little more normal than Lee is. I love Lee, but he's kind of an oddball.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I could see him being really good. Oh, uh, sorry. Um, but yeah, I could see them being really good for each other, being that nice balance of over hyper and too little energy kind of thing.
Yeah, especially considering, like you said, we don't know who Metal Lee's mom is, and Metal Lee does have anxiety, so it could work. Also, if they had a spin-off together, it could be called Bocchi the Rock Lee and his Ninja Pals.
I like that for some reason.
Yeah, I came up with this couple months ago, maybe, and I came up with that joke maybe about a week or two ago.
All right.
But yeah, Bocchi and Rock Lee. I know I've been hard on Bocchi, but I want her to be happy at least.
Okay. I'll co-sign. I think it's an interesting combination. All right. So my first one. So I put Suguha Kirigawa from SAO and Rakugo Hisatome from Shangri-La Frontier. The
Okay.
main reason I put these two together is because um, Suguha is Kirito's sister, but has a crush on him in that series. And I feel like uh, Rakuro is kind of the same person, just um, like I don't know. He's very similar to her brother. It's like, okay, let's give her somebody who's at least similar to who she, I guess, has a crush on, and at least make it appropriate.
Would he at least tell her, "Hey, this is weird"?
Yeah, yeah, he would.
I'm happy to hear that because it's one of those things where I guess it's a case of I can't necessarily say whether, oh, I want them, I can support this because it's similar. It's more of, I can support this because it's not incest. I don't have that exact mindset for something on my honorable mentions, but it is a matter of I don't like who this person ended up with, so I'm going to put you with somebody else.
Yeah, I did that with a lot of like selected people that didn't have any sort of relationship, so I feel like it might help.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I don't know Shangri-La Frontier. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it was a relatively new one that popped up. Kind of similar premise, but rather than people being like trapped in a world, the main character plays like the worst VR games possible, and then he finds one that's like the most popular, the best game right now, called Shangri-La Frontier, and then it's his adventures in that. And while there is a girlfriend, I haven't seen most of the series, so I just decided that it's like, okay, these two could work together.
Yeah, just to get you away from your brother.
Exactly.
I I can respect it in all honesty.
Yeah. So, but that was the main thing is again picking somebody who's at least similar to who her love interest is supposed to be, which is her brother, which at least then makes this okay.
I really want to sit down with every author in anime, with anime, manga, whatever, who suggests incest as a topic, and just really ask them what makes them decide that. And I don't mean that in the sense of I want an answer so I can be happy, but I just want an answer so I can just shake my head and say, no, I that doesn't work for me.
It does not.
No. But I can co-sign I can co-sign. Hopefully it doesn't put you on blast from the SAO fan base, but who knows at this point.
Exactly. There's no time.
Yeah. I can co-sign though.
Okay. So your next one?
All right. Gordon Agrippa from Black Clover and Mika from Lycoris Recoil.
Okay.
All right, so Mika's lived a pretty rough life. After taking in Chisato, he had to kill his old lover because his old lover was a really bad person. And he was heartbroken over it, even because it's a sense of even though you're a bad person, I still loved you and it hurt me to do that. And I think we can all argue that Gordon wouldn't be that type of person. As scary as Gordon looks, he's one of the nicest people and he's always looking to help his friends. And Gordon has said that he would like somebody who isn't scared of him, and I don't think Mika is scared of anybody for what I've seen. So it could just be a case of they just have a very relaxed friendship where like maybe they make desserts together, and Gordon ends up scaring a good amount of the customers, sadly.
I could see him being like he makes the most beautiful little desserts, and someone's like, "Oh, I must meet the baker who made these," and he comes out and and with that sort of terrifying smile, and they're like, "I don't want them anymore," and they run out, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Every time."
Yeah, in all seriousness, though, he would help Gordon kind of because he'd be like, "Hey, it's okay. You don't have to look. I love you for who you are. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, and like I said, Ed, it's just about this would just be a more wholesome friendship, a wholesome relationship than it would be a hey." And then the more comedic one, I just think it would work just because they both deserve to be happy, especially with what Mika went through, because that was one of the saddest moments of the whole series.
Yeah, I've only watched some of this series, so I haven't had a chance to really get to know Mika. So I need to go back and finally watch it.
Yeah, but and also, like I said, Gordon just wants somebody who just loves him for him, and it doesn't look primarily at his face. And yeah, they could work together. It's not the deepest reasoning. It's just they would both be happy.
I can agree to that. It sounds like an interesting one. All right, so my next one.
Yeah.
All right, so I put Robin from One Piece and Joseph Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh goodness.
The only reason I put these two together is because they're both considered archaeologists at some point in their lives. So I would find it absolutely hilarious if they got together and kind of what I've gotten out of their personalities, they would be like both could be bumbling idiots, but still be very smart. And that's like perfect for each other.
I think we see more of Robin's intelligence than we do of Joseph's. The thing is, I can especially see Joseph getting freaked out by some of Robin's darker humor. It's just like this could work, or we could all end up dying horribly. I still haven't figured it out yet. I'm like, that's something you should probably figure out.
Yeah, I could also see um her like him getting her like stuff that's kind of creepy but cute and his stuff and like it's just working for some reason. I think it would actually work, which would be hilarious.
Yeah, but and the thing is, I love Joseph. I think he is a compelling character, but at the same time, I also how do I put this? I do get the feeling in some cases maybe it would be better for him if it wasn't a woman he was totally terrified of.
I don't know, but I have a feeling he'd be terrified of Robin.
Yeah, but I still I could be cool with it. I could be cool with this. We should probably talk about JoJo's more at some point.
Yeah, since we both, I mean, have you watched more since Reese told us?
No.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, we both agree that Dio is the hero, though.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but that might be another video for another day. Maybe we'll save that for an April Fool's video.
Yeah, maybe that would work. I think.
Yeah. But I can go sign. They both have like Joseph's a little sillier, but considering Robin's somewhat dark tendencies at time, I could also vibe with it.
Yeah, for some reason, I think they would just be really good, cute. And again, with their kind of archaeological backgrounds, I just found that funny.
Yeah, plus all the poses Robin could do with all of her hands.
Well, her devil fruit is kind of a stand in and of itself because she poses for it.
I guess that's what a stand. I guess stands are technically also poses. Maybe somebody can let us know if they're the same thing or not.
Yeah. Alrighty. So your next one?
All right. Hifumi Togo from Persona 5 and Duke Devlin from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay.
Honestly, Hifumi kind of gets done dirty in the anime because she's one of the better confidants that you can do, both in story and just like all the benefits you get from her. But she's this really quiet, timid shogi player, and considering Duke loves board games, I actually think they could meet up and play games together. And Duke, unfortunately, with his kind of womanizer ways, could be like, "Oh, how's it going? You want to play a game with me?" She's like, "Oh, sure." But the thing about Hifumi is the second she starts playing, she changes. She turns into this weird Chunibyo like caricature, and she's like, "I see. So you decided to sacrifice your own pawn to make that move, but unfortunately, I'll strike you down with the goddess's air bow." And Duke would be like, "What the heck is wrong with this girl?" At the same time, though, they're both really kind. They're both kind people. Duke can be really cool. Duke can be a nice guy when he wants to be, but it could just be a case of maybe they create a board game together where the more Chunibyo tendencies are accepted rather than people being like, yeah, get me away from this person.
It could be like all those memes I've seen of like fake chess where it's like white plays a gun on the board. Like black has Kevlar vest, so it's not
Ex
effective.
exactly. It could work, and especially I feel like she would actually be the person who's just like, oh, it's just like I mean, card games are cool, but I actually really prefer dungeon dice monsters, and it's game over at that point.
It really would be at that point.
Yeah, but also it would take Duke away from Serenity because once again, Taya and Duke flirting with Serenity was a little weird.
Yeah. Especially because she's supposed to be a couple years younger, which is kind of weird at some points in life. I don't know.
I don't fully know. For the sake of this video, I said everyone's around the same age. Like, uh, still, look, like I said, look, they're both kind of quirkier with some of their personalities, but they're still likable enough, and their love of these bizarre games, it could be cute. I might be on board for it.
All right, I'll co-sign. I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
All right. So my next one, I put Shino from Naruto and Shinobu from Demon Slayer.
Oh boy.
So this one is again another one just because of like little bits of their personality. They both really are big insect users. It's just one of those cute things that I think like their dark sense of humor might come out and off of each other. And like she uses like a sword that is like next to impossible to use because it's just like the tip is sharp, so she can sting her opponent. And with his insect mind, I could see them creating like these super poisonous stuff together.
Oh, sweet God. And even I feel like even when Shino was trying to do that weird thing where he's like, "Oh, I need to stand out more," she'd say, "No, it's really okay." Oh, you like me more with my subdued nature. It's like, well, the fan base does too. But yeah, I still love you like this. But I could kind of see it because I'm not gonna say it was shocking that Shino's still single in Boruto, but I was kind of like, huh, they're not gonna nobody? Nope. No. He seems like he's a pretty cool guy, so I guess somebody had to pull the single card.
Yeah, and he's like the I don't know. He was always like the strongest, so I'm kind of surprised that, and he's from one of the stronger clans. I'm surprised that they didn't like almost have an arrangement for him.
Yeah, some people said 10-10, but it wasn't necessarily because they worked. It was more just like, well, she's the only other single one, so there.
Yeah, but then there's speculation she's with Rock Lee, but who knows?
I don't love that speculation based on some stuff people have said, but I don't know. Remember it's no Bocchi. He's
Yeah, he's with Bocchi.
sure, but I can kind of see it even with the little I know of Demon Slayer. The insect tendencies could be like I could see it.
Yeah, I know Shinobu is they got a thing for the water Hashira or something, or that's heavily implied, but I don't know. This just seems like it would be hilarious because I think their personalities. She's got like all like the colorful butterfly tie for her hair, but she still, I think, would get like her personality fits with Shino.
Yeah. Oh well, if people are upset enough, they can just fight Shino about it. Do you really think they're gonna? Like, do you want to fight? If you had a problem, would you fight Shino?
No, because he'd probably, especially if he actually does liver, then he would probably like be willing to take the poison insect into him that his brother did, and yeah,
I'm not fighting. Any problem I have, if the answer is fight Shino, I'll just be like, I'll just live with the problem forever. It's okay. It's okay.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah, but I can co-sign. Their love of insects, as weird as it can be, could bring them together.
Alrighty, yep. So your next one,
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Satone Shichimiya from Love Chunibyo and Calem from Pokemon.
okay,
If his name is Caleb, I don't care. I'm still calling him Caleb. We've agreed upon that. But Shichimi, I've talked before. Shichimiya, like she seems to she moves on from Utah at some point. At least I'd like to hope so. But she still seems kind of lonely sometimes. And apparently, Callum's story from the games and a little bit from Masters, I guess, is kind of realizing that he can rely on other people. He doesn't have to do everything on his own. Oh, and well, it was never portrayed in the most interesting way. We both have agreed that the rivals from Calum and Serena from the X and Y games are not the most interesting characters. That could be nice. You're boring and she's not. So you kind of work together. So she could bring out if you go back and look at some of the screenshots of X and Y, you can tell Calum is, well, at times he's a little more on the neurodivergent side. Like some of the stuff he says is like, I'm like, what? Like he has some weirder tendencies, so maybe it's a case of Shichimiya being like, "Hey, I'm weird. I'm considered weird, but I still like you. Even if you don't know how to be weird like I do, I still like that about you.
Yeah, I could see them being kind of a cute couple, being the weird and the boring one, bringing it's kind of it's the opposites attract, or the opposites bring the best out of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of you might be saying, well, let's just like, well, what about Calem and Serena? I'm like, yeah, well, okay, look, do me a favor. Do me a favor. For anybody who disagrees, look me in the eye and tell me, based on the way Calem acts, you don't think he might be into women who are a little bit older than him? She's like, what, 2 years older than? It's not the craziest thing in the world because he doesn't seem interested in Serena or Shauna, so why not?
All right, I'll co-sign. I need to play through X and Y again just to get more of the, like, personality side again of the characters.
Or just Pokemon Masters is also easier for it, just because you do. It's weird because I'm like, wow, I actually like Calum and Serena a lot more through Masters than I do through my X and Y playthrough, where I'm just kind of like, I mean, they're okay, I guess, but like, there's not a whole lot there.
I also need to play through it so I can reconnect with everything before the new games come out later this year. So
Oh, that's right. I should probably finally get a copy of X because I played Y.
yeah, I got X. I need to play Y. Do you want to trade?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to delete my stuff, man.
I've got a shiny on X that I haven't moved over yet. It's a Woobat.
Oh my god, I actually liked Woobat, but also she would love Pokemon because she's like, oh, I might be a magical girl, and that I might not be a real magical girl, but now I have these animals that can make me a real magical girl. And he's just like, honey, can you just can you promise to be responsible? And she's just like, I can, no.
No, no,
And
no.
he could just be like he could playfully say you're an idiot, and she'd like be like, yeah, but I'm your idiot forever.
And he would be like, I didn't buy you that.
I didn't buy you that, but I'm not going to object to it. But just like to bring some excitement to Callum's life, and Shichimiya, she needed somebody because she seemed like somebody who's like, I want both of, I want her to be happy.
Yeah, I'll co-sign. I think that they would make, based on the description, I think they would make an interesting couple.
Yeah. Who's your next one?
All right. So my next one, I have Tenya Iida from My Hero and Cana from Fairy Tail. This is a one where like opposites, for some reason, I have a feeling would like attract. Uh, like Tenya's the straight laced, everything very rigid. He's the speedster for his class. Kana's the laid back. She drinks heavily and is there for a party. For some reason, I feel like she would just get a kick out of Tenya, and he would just be along for the ride at that point. I don't know why this one came to me just randomly, and I'm just like, yes, I see this working.
I feel like when he's of age. I don't know why I have this theory. I have a feeling that he's a lightweight when it comes to drinking. Like he has one sip and it knocks him out, and she just looks at him.
Yeah, and she's just like, okay, and she got has her like she picks up like barrels and drinks the
Oh
barrels.
my God, this woman sounds terrifying.
So I see it being like really cute and like she's like just it's all right, fall asleep, honey.
Oh, yeah, I could definitely be also see it being case of because you told me at times Tenya Ida's kind of uptight. So
Hmm.
maybe if he's talking to the class, he'll be like, "Hey, everybody, we really need to be on your P's and Q's about this." She's just like, "Do whatever you want, it's okay." And the class is just like, "Who are we supposed to listen to?"
Exactly. I could see that being the big thing because she's she's like the most laid back, but it's also to hide some stress, which he doesn't hide well at all. So I could see them like helping each other kind of overcome their stress by showing them other ways of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Not maybe not the right ways, but they'll show them how to deal with stress in one way or another.
And when the class succeeds in something, she could even say, "Hey, okay, who wants a drink?" It's like these are all no, they're not drink. These kids are not drinking.
Yeah, yeah, I could see her. She'd be the one that was like brewing something randomly and try to give it out to everybody.
I'm horrified to know what a drunk Bakugo would look like.
Yeah, that would probably be very dangerous.
Or he'd just be very mellow, like, "Hey, sometimes I'm really mean to you guys. I'm really sorry." I'm like, "Why is this happening?"
Oh my God, now I want one where it's revealed that uh Bakugo becomes very subdued, almost becomes Midoriya, and Midoriya is a mean drunk and becomes Bakugo.
Oh my, I need that comic. That's horrifying, but I do want to see it. But I can co-sign as long as everybody drinks responsibly. It's okay.
Yeah. All right. So your first honorable mention?
All right. Maria Momosaka from Osamake and Akatsuki Red from Mr. Villain's Day Off.
Okay.
Yes, he's the Red Ranger is called Akatsuki Red. That's kind of the best name. But Maria, oh, she's an actress, and as much as she likes it in some areas, she hates it because people in Hollywood are fake. A lot of people will act one way just to get ahead. Like they'll act nice, but they'll stab you in the back the second they get the chance. Meanwhile, I guess I'll just call him the Red Ranger. The Red Ranger is very kind. What you see is what you get. He's honest, but he's also kind of ditzy. He like whenever he's patrolling the city, he'll get lost and he'll be like, "Hey, General, I know you're my mortal enemy and I'm supposed to defeat you, but where's the train station?" And the general will just be like, it's right next to you. Just take a left, you'll be set." But I don't, it's just a case of he's such a sweet person who's always looking to help people. And like I said, what you see is what you get. He's not the brightest, but I don't know. I feel like that could work in a sense where Maria sees him and she's like he's dopey and he's clumsy, but he's also incredibly reliable at times. And he's the sweetest person I know. So she could even think to herself, "Hey, for one of my next shows I'm doing, I need a costume. Can I borrow your costume?" He's like, "Sure, sure. Just don't hurt anyone."
Interesting. I can kind of see it. Unfortunately, I don't know these characters like at all, so
Yeah,
I don't have anything to add.
his directional skills are probably worse than Leon's from Pokemon's. They are terrible.
So he could end up in the anime anyway because he just get lost in his own.
Yeah, there's also a scene where the other Rangers are talking to each other, and whenever they call the Blue Ranger Big Brother, it's not because they think of him as a brother. It's because they want something from him. It's just like, please, like whenever you call me Big Brother, I know something bad's about to happen. And the Red Ranger will believe it. He'll be like, "Oh, you guys are related?" I'm like, "No, they none of us look the same. We all clearly have different parents, so." Even if she's acting, he could be like, might believe her. It's just like, no, it's just honey, it's just a play. It's just a script. No, I love you, but you're so stupid.
Yeah, and it kind of fits with some of the Red Rangers kind of being, especially early on in their series, they end up as kind of dopey to start before becoming the hero.
Yeah. Yeah, but just an somewhat disgruntled actress and a incredibly dopey but reliable Red Ranger.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'll co-sign on to that. Uh, so my first honorable mention.
Sure.
So this one's kind of the opposite of my last one, but with at least one very similar character. I put Uryu from Bleach and Azazel Ameri from Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. And I know she's kind of, I guess, pushed to be with Iruma, but they would be like the perfect straight-laced couple in public, like always proper, dressed right, like perfect hair, ready to go. Probably the president and vice president of their school's student body. And then, but like I could see him like always trying to win her the little stuffed animals from the claw machine and having a very cute relationship when they're more like away from the people they know.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see it, especially it's somewhat similar for me in the Shichimiya case of it's just like Uri, he likes Orihime, right?
Uh, no,
I feel like you've told me that maybe there were some scenes where it's like maybe he's got a thing for her. Maybe I'm wrong.
it's been a while. Maybe he does. I just don't remember off the top of my head. He's never really portrayed as like a very loving or person, like somebody who wants to date. But I could see him like forming a relationship just because he feels like it's proper.
I guess that's a way of putting it. Yeah, but even just in the sense of it's a case of if people want them to be together, which from what I've heard in the Bleach manga does not happen. It could be a case of it's just like, hey, you didn't end up with person A, but we'll give you somebody else to be in love with.
Exactly. And again, I think I see them being like again, this is the like similars attract kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's sometimes as long as people aren't too similar, it can work.
Again, I see like her and him being president, vice president of the student body and having this kind of cute relationship based on it.
I doubt anybody would mess with them, but I
Yeah,
can co-sign. So should I do my next one?
go right ahead.
All right. Yumi Amura from Chobits and Mutsubi Wakaba from Mujika, the Dias cast.
Okay.
All right, so Yumi's thing from Chobits is kind of in the sense of she doesn't love having Persicoms around because she feels like at some point I'm human, I'll be replaced it, so I could just be replaced by somebody by this perfect Persicom. And the thing is that she has part of the thing is if people she probably would have been able to fix this problem, and I'm not shaming her for this, if she'd spoken up and said, I'm not comfortable in this situation. Hey, I'm having this problem, I'm going through it. It's because sometimes we have to speak up and say when something's bothering us. Meanwhile, Mutsumi is super stressed because both of her parents are incredibly successful, so she kind of just feels like the kid who's like, "Oh, one of your parents is an actress and one of your parents is super famous too. So what are you gonna do?" Like, there's a lot of pressure that she puts on herself and stress that builds up and gets kind of scary to witness sometimes. But I do get the feeling that they would both be very intuitive about how the other person feels and be like, "Hey, if you're not going to tell me what's bothering you, that's okay." But it's not always a case of let's talk about it. It could just be a case of, "Hey, let's just order takeout. Hey, let's just have a drink together." But they're both characters who get timid when something's wrong, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing because they both understand the people around them.
Yeah, I can see that because the character from Chobits, that's the one that's his coworker, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, I can see that because yeah, just having that kind of timidness for that world, I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus, I'd like to think that Yumi would be going to Mutsumi's concerts because the music from that show is incredibly good. It's really good.
Okay. Unfortunately, I just don't know the other show well enough to.
Honestly, I started a couple of weeks ago. I was kind of like, let's see what it's like, and I'm like, oh, the first episode is kind of a hard sell because it doesn't even, but it introduces one character and everybody else is just sort of thrown at you. But then once you get to the next few episodes, I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm starting to see it. I don't know if I'd say it's fantastic, but I'm still getting through it. I'm still enjoying it.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's can't ask really for more. It's like one that's just like you don't fully know, but it might be good to
Yeah,
give a shot.
not every anime needs to be the perfect masterpiece. Sometimes it can just be like, oh, that was pretty cool. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and I'm more likely to watch something when someone tells me that. If they tell me it's the perfect masterpiece, I get worried that as soon as I find something I don't like or miss or just don't like, it's just gonna throw my entire thing
And
off.
it works the other way around for me too, because if somebody says this is the worst thing ever, and I watch it, the second I find something I like, I'm like, oh, really? Power Rangers Operation Overdrive is that bad? I don't know. Considering how horrible everybody told me it was, I've seen worse.
Yeah, yeah, I can. I don't know. I've not seen all the series of Power Rangers, so I don't know on that one.
Yeah. Want us to talk Power Rangers? Just let us know. But uh, I've talked about Chobits before, or Abe Mujica. It's pretty decent.
All right, yeah, I'll co-sign for now. Again, I maybe I'll give that one a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. But what is your next honorable mention, or who is your next honorable mention?
So this is one just because they're both like geniuses in their own right, and I think that they would be the only ones that could like uh like handle each other's intelligence, even though it's completely about separate topics. Frieren from Frieren and Senku from Doctor Stone.
Why'd I have a feeling
They
this one would show up?
I don't know why, but they're that they've got that awkwardness, but at least the like Frieren from this series and the Senku, I don't know, they this would just be one where they're like I could see them sitting around talking like about any topic for hours at a time.
Oh my god.
And like Senku would be like, there's no such thing as magic, and Frieren would be like, well, everything's magic. Science is just a form of magic that you understand.
Oh my god.
And he'd be like freaking out and trying to explain, well, no, there's a reasonable explanation. What you're doing, I have no idea how that's happening. So yeah,
I feel like other characters would be like, so what's up? So they're still fighting? Oh no, this is their date. It is? How long is this one? Like 3, 4? Oh, 3, 4 hours? Days?
exactly. And I could see like they go for like just like these random little things. And like he's like, oh, we need this acid. She's like, oh, you mean the elixir of life? He's like, what?
No, it's acid. It will kill you. You sure we shouldn't drink it? Oh my god, please don't.
And I could see her doing that because she could be kind of a little ditzy, which like just for different things. Like she tried to give her student a potion that melts clothes. Yeah, just as a gift to give to her boyfriend or the guy she. Yeah, it's kind of a weird relationship because she's kind of only coming into her emotional state like partway through the series. So
I've heard weird things about this show, but it's also one of those shows where people like watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, and I'm like, can you back up, please?
it's a slow burn, but I think it's worth it if you want something just kind of fantasy with like cute, more almost slice of life elements, but there's some shonen, some action. It's kind of a nice mix of everything.
Yeah, I've had somebody has told me, oh, I'm still getting through it. It's kind of a slow burn. I'm like, huh, that's the second person who's told me that.
Yeah, it really is. You got to get kind of there's arcs that go in like that first season, and I know they're working on season two technically right now.
Yeah, there's a voice actor that I've met, and he's also on the show. Sorry, I don't remember what character he's supposed to be.
But yeah, I just think that these two would have like they're so smart in their selective fields that I think that they would just like argue, but they would be kind of fun together.
Yeah, yeah. That being said, I don't know too many people who would. I don't know too many people who would double date with them because it kind of just seems like they're just in their own world. Let's just leave them be.
I don't think they would invite anybody to double date with them, really.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better just to be alone, so I get that. Also, the voice actor I know, he apparently voices Stark.
That's the boy friend that I mentioned that she's gives him like she's trying to give her female pupil the potion to dissolve clothes to give to him for his birthday, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, goodness. His name is Jordan Dash Cruz. He also voice is young Roshi in Dragon Ball Daima.
Okay, I haven't even given that a shot yet.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about Daima at some point. You know that, right?
I know. I need to sit down and just watch it. I think it's all out now, isn't it? Or if
It
it isn't,
is.
it's next week or something.
It's pretty much all out.
Okay. Yeah, I need to give it a shot.
All right, but I can co-sign. Sometimes two weirdos in their own world it can kind of work.
Yeah. All right. So your last honorable mention?
Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm not gonna love this one. And okay, Kusuo Psyche from Psyche K and Toroko Koshi from My Dear Friend No Kotan.
Okay.
All right, so we know Psyche. He's a psychic and he wants to have a relatively normal life. At least that's what he says. And even though he does grow to like some of the craziness that goes around him with his friends, you could tell that there are times where he's legitimately like, I just want a peaceful day. I just really want a peaceful day. Writers, please do not put me through this hell. Meanwhile, Okoshi, she comes off as as a perfect student, but deep down she used to be a delinquent, and she's legitimately trying to be better. Or she's trying to be the person who's like, hey, those were fun years, but I just want to be a normal student and have a normal life. And as much as we all love Psyche, he's kind of a weirdo. Deep down, he's kind of an he's the least normal person in the whole show. But it could be a sense of it's like, hey, we're both weird trying to be normal, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And they could have very quiet moments together, but they could also have some fun when need be.
Yeah, I could kind of see that it being that um yeah, 'cause whoever Psyche gets with, it's gonna, and it would have been somebody who's quiet
Yeah,
and like, because yeah, he likes his peace so much.
yeah. They're both the straight men of their own show, so it could just be like you're the straight person of your show. Yep, you. Yep. Have you ever had coffee jelly before? She's like, no. But just like he just gives her an arm's like, come on.
Yeah. Then he eats both of their coffee jellies.
Probably knowing Psyche, probably.
Yeah. I can really see that just because yeah, he doesn't share coffee jelly.
No. No, but they're just both straight men who deep down are weirder than they'd like to admit. And they're characters who regularly break the fourth wall and get pissed at the narrator when something goes wrong, but they're also both good people when they need to be. And I don't know, there's a quietness to them but there's also a sense of they can both be weird when they need to be. So I don't know, it might work between the two.
Yeah, I think this is one of those where it's like they're very similar, so I could see them being uh like playing off each other really well.
Yeah. Yeah, my dear friend Nokotan is I'm only a few episodes in. It's something. That's I don't have any more than that. It's something.
And it sounds like it might be something that's kind of replacing the Psyche K that you haven't had anything new from in a few years.
Considering all the stuff I've been watching is either serious with some comedic elements or kind of serious or kind of funny with this overarching story, it's kind of something I've needed for a while.
Yeah, something just a little bit funny, a little bit just nice.
I'll say though, the extra characters might be my favorites just based on the first episode when the deer girl shows up because it's
Oh, it's that one. Okay.
what did you think it was?
I don't know. I was trying to remember what it was exactly, but I know exactly which one you're talking about now.
Yeah. I didn't want to put Psyche with, I'm not going to pretend like I know her, with Shinka, the deer girl, because I'm like, that might be too destructive for Psyche to handle.
Alrighty. Yeah, no, I could. Yeah, that from what I've seen, yeah, that might be a little much.
Yeah, but the two straight men of their series, it could work.
All right. So my last honorable mention.
Please.
All right. So this one was more of just one for convenience, and I could see it like one of them really falling in love with the other like later on. Tenten from Naruto and Zoro. I see Tenten like kind of fawning over Zoro for being like this super strong, muscular man. But then I see like Zoro, like once Tenten reveals that she can summon random weapons, it like he's like, okay, you can come along. And it's just slowly builds to the point where he actually loves her.
I could definitely see it. Is Tenten good with directions? Because I'd like to hope she is for Zoro's sake.
I think she has to be because of Rock Lee and Mike Guy. I think she's probably the one who had the map most of the time and like just especially once Neji passed.
Oh, you didn't have to remind me of that.
Yeah, no, but I think this one's more just kind of a cutesy little thing that kind of builds off of like convenience. They were good together because she could summon weapons for Zoro, but he slowly falls in love with her, and she just happens to embrace her girly side and really likes him as this muscular man.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say a reverse. I could also see it in a way because Tenten's pretty independent, and she's also like one of the things I actually do legitimately love about Tenten. This is not ironic in the slightest. I do like how she's kind of like, hey, I can prove that I can be a strong female ninja, but at the same time, she doesn't use it in the sense of, oh, what, you're gonna hit a girl? Like she's very much like, no, treat me as an equal. I don't want to be held back because of my gender, but I also don't want to be handed everything because of it. And I could see that Zoro being like, I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, and I can see him trying to train her to use the three sword style, and she's just like, but I don't want to hold a sword in my mouth.
At the same, yeah. That being said, though, she needs all the help she can get, though. Maybe Tenten gets her own. Maybe we could fix Tenten at some point.
Yeah, you're like her own sword jutsus and stuff.
We'll figure it out at some point. But I could kind of see it, specifically older Tenten.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so your last one.
All right, my last pair of two characters from completely different anime. Who I thought, you know what? Let's ship these two together. Sakura Haruka from Windbreaker and Sugami Harudori from Soul Eater Not.
Okay.
All right, so Sugami's thing is kind of different compared to other Soul Eater characters. Her main mission is just sort of discovering love, experiencing love. Whether that's platonic or romantic, I don't think ever gets revealed, but it's been a while since I've watched the series. But she's a very kind, gentle person, albeit somewhat timid. And Sakura has gone through his whole life of people disowning him and pushing him away just because of the way he looks. Look, so and deep down, it looks like he wants to just take over the school so everybody will respect him and admire him. But deep down, he has very low self-esteem and at times doesn't feel like he's deserving of love. So it could be a case of Sugami sees this and be like, "Hey, I see all the good stuff you're doing, and I think it's really attractive." And of course, he would get flustered by it because he is a complete tsundere, but he's also a super nice guy, and I don't know. I feel like with the awkwardness they both are, they'd both be willing to be patient with each other, even if their personalities are a little bit different.
Okay. I can kind of see that being like um not fully opposites, but not like I'm trying to think of how to put it, but not exactly the same as well, being that kind of like having elements of the same personality, but also different pieces going
Yeah,
to.
yeah. And once Sakura learns that she can fight, he would be so ecstatic because he does learn in the middle of season one, like, hey, you can get to know somebody better by fighting them, whether they're friend, foe, or somewhere in between. So maybe it'd be a case of once they fight, then he's like, okay, I know her a little bit better, and I can kind of understand where she's coming from because she's pretty weak in the beginning of the series, and part of her thing is I want to get stronger.
Yeah, because she's part of the not class, right?
Yeah, she can
So
barely control her weapon form.
yeah, so I can kind of co-sign. I think someone who like respects the like growth and strength and liking to fight, and then somebody who's got to reach that goal.
Yeah, yeah, and I want to apologize to some of the Windbreaker fans because they're like, well, what about the first girl Sakura meets, Kotoha? I'm like, look, once again, we're gonna bring this a little bit closer, guys. Out of all the characters in Windbreaker who I could ship Sakura with, you think I'm picking one of the girls, one of the two girls in the series when there's like 15 other guys? No, no, you're all so funny.
Yeah, I'll co-sign. I think they sound like they would make an interesting couple, especially as the growth comes. I could see him maybe not liking her at the start if she's kind of like not wussy, but not like necessarily viewing herself as strong and not willing to train or something at first.
Yeah. Yeah, because he does have a best friend who's very similar, but it would also be a case of he'd be like, you can't cry when you're weak. That makes you look worse. But Sugami, but he would even kind of look away from her and be like, for what you did, I guess you're pretty cool, okay? And that's when it hits her, and she's like, oh damn, there it is.
Okay. Yeah. As I said, I'll co-sign on this one.
Yeah. Especially considering Soul Eater slash Not seems to take place in Las Vegas. There, there's a weird clip of of Sakura and Windbreaker implying that if he was with somebody from who was not from Japan, he might be into it. But that's another point for another day.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Windbreaker's on my list. That I know that one. Soul Eater or not, I don't know if I'm gonna ever give that one a shot because I've heard such mixed things. I know you said it's good, but I've also heard other things, so I just don't know.
Yeah, it's another one of those. Everybody told me it was the worst thing ever, and I watched them like this. Y'all need to watch more bad stuff because this is not nearly as bad as people say it is.
Yeah, it's if I guess if your favorite anime is Soul Eater, then maybe it's could be the worst thing ever. But
It does some stuff better than Soul Eater though, but that's both a good and a bad thing. As for Windbreaker, season two is confirmed April 3rd, and for one of the few times I can say I'm actually ahead of the anime.
oh wow, nice.
I am I have I have a lot of the volumes of manga. We'll talk about it another day.
Okay, all right. So my last one. So this is one I may need your help with just a little bit because it's a character I know you know better than me, but I know the other one I think better.
Sure.
So I put Rangiku from Bleach and Gintoki from Gintama.
Okay.
So I both of them are kind of party animals for their respective anime, but they both have that tragic backstory as well. Rangiku having been uh, like a street urchin. I know Gintoki has been betrayed. Rangiku was betrayed by the one she loved, and Gin. So there's just they have a lot in common, and I could see them like kind of being an interesting couple, like going out and drinking, but also being like truly caring for each other and being like able to stand back to back when they fight.
Yeah. And also, especially considering Gintoki loves to drink, so that it kind of works in that regard. At the same time, though, the weird thing about Gintoki is that he does have a habit of attracting a good amount of people. He's very charismatic, whether he wants to admit it or not. So somebody else, because he also attracts a lot of traumatized people. So in a sense, I could see them meeting, and I could see it. It could be a sense of it's like, hey, they kind of vibe with each other.
Yeah, and I could see um, them getting just that along well. It would also lead to a very, I could see it leading to a very funny moment when Gintoki like releases his wood sword as like Shikai and Bankai kind of thing.
Yeah, especially there is legitimately an episode where they talk about the spirit of the sword. It's just like Gintoki, would you like to get stronger? And he says, "No, I'm okay."
But I could see him like just back to back, and he's like in his sword and just drops his wood sword, and it does nothing. It just falls to the ground.
I feel like even at some point she'd be like, "Okay, I need." She would just grab it and said, "I need you to lock in." And every now and then he can, but it's also okay. He can be serious in the sense of, "Wow, he's a badass," but he can also be serious in the sense of, "This man is terrifying." So I'd like to think maybe it could be a case of where she could reel him in because when he is mad, it is horrifying.
Yeah, I could see her being that kindness like that he needs when he goes over that edge. So yeah, as I said, this one was just one that's for some reason, even though I've only seen a few episodes of Gintama, it fit for some reason in my head.
Yeah. Also, doesn't she have a habit of inviting people out to drink?
Yes, and she like runs off on her own a lot, which I kind of feel like he does as well. So I could see them both running off in the same direction.
Does she pay for the drinks?
I think so.
Okay, because Gintoki spent it. He still needs to pay rent. He can't go out drinking all the time. So if he can cut back on the drinking, paying for drinks because of her, everybody might be happier.
Yeah, I see them being like one of those things like where she kind of like plays with him and makes him think like that she's gonna make him pay for the drinks, like but then she reaches in and to her robes and pulls out her money and pays for everything.
Yeah. That being said, though, it would be take some smoothing over for the rest of the cast of Bleach, considering how often Gintama has made fun of Bleach.
Yeah. As I said, it would just be kind of a cute moment. I for some reason, because didn't Gintoki have a love at one point?
He was in love with he's in love with the weather girl, but a lot of girls like him. But it's somewhat of a case of he still sort of feels like it's not going to work out. Plus, almost every girl who's in love with him is kind of insane.
Oh, I thought there might have been someone in his past that
N-
like died or betrayed him. But that I know he's been
Not
betrayed, but like
not from what I remember, but like who I could be wrong. I could be wrong. With as much as I know of Gintama, I still get stuff wrong every now and then.
okay. But I know like Rangiku again, she's betrayed by Gin, and who never really stopped loving her, but dies like when he's trying to stop Aizen. So it's one of those things like she finally comes to realize that he was never the bad guy and all that. So it's like I don't know. It just gives her somebody new to love. It's similar to her and has trauma and all that, but they can work together. I could see.
And it's like, I'm dating Gin. Oh, like, really? You worked it out? Toki. Oh. Gin Toki.
Exactly.
We're still not forgiving you from stealing half our stuff, but you want a drink?
So just a cute one that could be absolutely hilarious, and they would just play off each other really well, I think.
Yeah. I like this one where it's like, you know one, I know, so we can both make it work together. I like this.
Exactly.
All right.
That's kind of why I picked it as well.
Yeah, works for me. We should do more of those every now and then.
Yeah. All right.
Are we ready to close out?
I believe we are.
All right. This was a little bit of a weird one, but people seem to like our shipping videos. So who knows?
Yeah. So I mean, do you agree, disagree with any of these? I mean, I know some of the characters probably have people in their series that they get shipped with, so I'm sure we're going to get some flack for shipping them with somebody else. But it's
you guys asked for content. I think this is on. I think we can start blaming our fans for stuff like this. Why do we have to take responsibility when they can do it for us?
Wasn't this our idea?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. But but ladies, gentlemen, Elizabeths, who are some anime characters from different series that you could think, let's put them together. Whether it's they get married or it's just a one-time disaster, let us know what you think. And give us some reasons too.
Yeah, and I mean, who would you ship from different series or think that would make a nice couple?
Yeah. Even contradicting myself a little bit, I don't know how often we're going to be doing shipping videos, so please just savor them while you can.
Yeah, there's only so many we can really do because, like, if they end up together, you can't necessarily ship them anymore because they are together, but they don't. There's only so many series that we can see, so.
Yeah, but be sure to let us know. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, maybe give us a review on your favorite podcast app, and we'll see you next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to Anime Egotists. Good night, and peace easy.